Hey everyone, thanks for tuning back in to mattsteinway.com. It's a little bit later at night than I usually record the videos, but I just had an idea I wanted to share with you. Not an idea, but I felt like sharing a topic with you. Just doing a bit of website work there, a bit of Twitter work as well. So anyway, I know the light's not amazing. Hope you can see my face okay. What are we going to talk about? That's right. Overpricing. So how do you know if your home's overpriced? Well, it's pretty easy. Nothing's happening. So if it's overpriced, and I also want to talk about overpricing before you go onto the market, because it's something that you do need to take into consideration if you're thinking of selling. So first of all, if you're on the market and you're trying to sell your house and nothing's happening, there's a couple of things you need to look at. So, are you getting any inspections through at all? If you're not, what's happening there is the marketplace, it's not that there's no buyers around, there's lots of buyers around, but there's a lot more, there's a lot more choice right now. So the marketplace is disregarding your home before they've come through. And think about it like this, you know when you buy a car in the trading post, for instance, and you know there's like, if you're buying a car for $10,000, I don't know what sort of car you get for $10,000 these days, but let's say you're buying a car for $10,000 and there might be 100 cars in there. As a buyer, you don't go look at every car, do you? You go through the trading post. I don't even know if there is a trading post anymore. Or do you just use it online? I don't know. Anyway, let's just pretend you just buy the trading post. And you go through each car, you have a look. How do you know which ones to go to? How do you know? You don't even know. You're disregarding some of these ones in the paper here. We go, yeah, I'll go look at that car, I won't go look at that one, won't look at that, look at that, look at that. Yeah, I'll call that owner, blah, blah, blah. You're judging it based on perceived value. So what the car offers in the ad, you're making a decision whether you're going to include the car, the cars on the list, you're going to include them or exclude them. And you're doing it based on advertised perceived value. It's a very powerful thing. So what buyers do, over time, they get quite researched and they sort of know what's on offer. Most people look for probably 3 months before they buy a house. They're not always ready to buy in that 3 months, but they go through a research process. And they get to know the market pretty well. And if your home's on the market and it's been there for a little bit, then buyers see that, and they either see that it's been on the market for quite a while, or they're looking at it, looking at the price, potentially, looking at what it offers, and looking at the other competitive homes, maybe driving past the front, and they're disregarding your property. They're disregarding it based on their perceived value, their predetermined perceived value. It's a very powerful thing in real estate. What you're asking for the home and what they're seeing that the home offers before they come, they're matching that together, and if nobody's coming, they're not agreeing. So they're not agreeing with what you're asking for, usually. And what owners do sometimes is they sit on the market and think, oh, someone will come along one day and buy my house. But what happens is price relates to time. So the longer you're on the market, the lower the price gets. All right, so if you sit there for months and months and months and months, the market moves away from your home more and more and more and more because it becomes like old news. This is why managing your listing, so when you're on the market and managing it right the way through and making sure that the marketplace stays interested in your property, is how you'll achieve a successful sale. But if you just let it sit there at the same price, at the same point, and not do too much else, and it just drifts, you're not doing anybody any favors, especially yourself. Because there's not going to be this magical buyer that's going to come along, and all the hundreds of other buyers along the way have disregarded it, and what someone down 6 months down the track is all of a sudden just going to come and buy your house. It doesn't usually happen like that. Or remember this, everyone wants what everyone wants, no one wants what no one wants. It's a really good saying to remember. And if you've got silence around your property at the moment because nobody's paying attention to it, there's a message in that silence. There really is. There's a message in there. And the message is that the marketplace just doesn't agree with what you're asking for your property. So what do? Do you lower the price? And what owners quite often say, well, I'm not going to give it away. It's not giving it away. You've got to make your property look more attractive than every other property on offer at the moment, whether that's through the presentation and the price, whether that's through the marketing presentation and the price, whatever it may be. Do some research yourself and take an unbiased view of it. So quite often owners are quite close to their property and they think that theirs is better than all the others that are out there, and it might be. But usually buyers don't see it that way. They look at it from more of a clinical perspective. So the basis of this video is, how do you know if your property is overpriced? Well, not much is going on. Here's another one. If you've got lots of traffic, or if you've got traffic coming through your home but no one's making you offers, that's another indication that it's just too dear. Because what happens is people start logically and they finish emotionally. So they're coming because it's sort of, and when that happens, by the way, it's like almost there. It's teetering on the right price. But they're coming and they're coming through and they're looking at the home and it's like, yeah, it's nice, and they leave it and they'll go off and not come back. And an owner says, well, why don't they just make me an offer? You know, all these people are coming through, why don't they just make me an offer? I shouldn't need to adjust my price, they should just make me an offer. It doesn't really work like that, especially in a price sensitive market that we're in right now. We're in a marketplace that your price has to be spot on, if not a bit under. So if your property's worth 400,000, you usually price it at $399 in this marketplace and it'll sell. You don't price it at $429, it'll sit there. It will just sit there because that variance is the thing that's not attracting buyers enough, because they feel that it's not offering the right value in today's market. Price is a powerful thing in your property sale. It's like the basis of everything. And in a price sensitive market, there's not a lot of room for slack. So if your price is out by 5%, probably won't sell. If your price is bang on the money, and if anything, maybe a little bit under, it'll sell. Bang. And it's like a switch in the marketplace. As soon as an owner is willing to say, all right, well, I'm going to adjust my price underneath what I believe it's worth, but I'm going to adjust my price to make sure that my property represents the best value home at the moment in my particular area for what it offers, it'll sell. And it's not about underselling your home. It's about getting the market to get active around your property. And then if you can create enough energy around your home and hopefully one buyer, possibly two buyers, because yours is the best value home in the area for what it offers, or it's priced right on the money, then you'll sell for the strongest amount and you'll get moving and you'll sell within 30 days and away you go. So if you want to sell your home in the current market, just be willing to understand the market and find where the price point is. If it hasn't sold within the first 30 days, look at all the feedback that you've had, really get a sense of what the buyers are saying. Listen to the feedback, listen, because it's very valuable. It'll give you a sense of the energy of the market, where the buyers' expectations are at the moment. And there's a bit of choice out there. And why they're not making you offers, which I was going to say before, people are coming but they're not making you offers because they're looking at your home thinking, yeah, I like it, but I feel I can get better value elsewhere. And they'll go out and they don't come back and they don't make you the offers because they're seeing better value out there and they're buying those homes. So if you want to get moving, think about, and you're on the market, think about price. Think about where you're positioned right now. Get some advice around it. talk to your agent, have an open and candid discussion around price, and get their sense of where it's at. By the way, agents aren't always right either. You do have to find the right buyer for the property, and then unless you've got a buyer that's interested in your house, you won't be able to work out what the price actually is, because people won't want to buy your house because they don't suit it. But when you find somebody that suits it, then you can determine the price. But I want to put a bit of brackets around that, but if you haven't sold within 30 days, chances are you're not going to sell at the level that you're at right now, because the best buyers are the first lot of buyers that come through your house. They're the ones that have usually been looking longest, they're ready to go, and they know everything that's on the market, they're in a position to buy. So if you haven't sold within those first 30 days, I would say that the buyers aren't agreeing with your position. If you've got strong interest within that first 30 days, you know, third week, fourth week, somewhere there, especially the third week, if you've got strong interest and you've got second and third inspections happening, then you're going to sell. Something's going to happen. But if you've got nothing, single inspections, activity in the beginning, then it really starts to drift off, I would say that's an indication that your price is a little bit too high. You need to talk to your agent, get a sense of what's going on, look at the feedback, look at the marketplace, see what's happening out there, look at the most recent sales, see what the buyers are seeing, and chances are you're probably going to have to adjust your price. But remember this, if you're buying and selling in the same market, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's all relative. Hope that makes sense to everybody. And if you've got any questions around price and you're trying to sell right now, put your questions in the comment section underneath and I'll see if I can help you. If you've got some comments on that in general, love to hear about it. Put it underneath, see if we can get a conversation going around it. I could talk about lots more on this subject, and I probably will on different videos, and I was going to talk about potentially overpricing your home when you first go on the market, but I think I'm going to do that on a different video because I haven't got enough time. All right, question of the day today. Question of the day. I didn't prepare a question of the day before I started, so let me see if I can think of a good one. I haven't really got any good ones. Question of the day. Might need a bit of help with this one. I don't have anyone around here to help. Can you give me an idea about the question of the day? I can't think of one right now. Question of the day would be today. What would be a good, yeah, there we go, let's do that. What would be a good topic that you'd like to see in my first newsletter that I'm going to do on mattsteinway.com for sellers, buyers, investors? What would be a good topic you'd like me to cover in there? And I'll definitely do it. Let me know. Love to hear about it. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, helping make this real estate world a much better place. See you on the next video.